So now my partner places a butterfly half guard on me. Okay. So from here, we're going to come up and we're going to force our partner into a split squat like so. Okay. Now, we cannot slide into a split squat. Okay. I'm going to say this multiple times because it's very important. If at any time I drive forward into my partner's split squat and my foot, my shoelace comes out from behind my partner's hamstring, this is leg lock territory where she can go into leg locks on me. Okay? Because I have no control of my partner's upper body and she can start to invert and do all kinds of things from here. Okay? So you hear me say this when you put your partner in a split squat and they have a butterfly hook. You have to be very careful from this position to not put yourself in a leg locking position. And the way to do that is to make sure that your right shoelaces stay behind your partner's hamstring. If at any point we come out to this position, it's no good. Okay. So now there's 3 different positions that we can play from here. Okay. One is where we can get to an underhook and a crossface, and we can get full inside position on the upper body. 2 is where from here we feel like we can't get to an underhook on our partner, but from here we can reach over our partner's head. And 3 is where she has a cross shoulder post, from where now I feel like I can't get an underhook, I can't get a crossface, and I have to start passing around our partner's guard back to the opposite side. Okay? So now let's start working with assuming we can get to an underhook. So we put our partner in a split squat, and from here she has a butterfly hook. Now the beauty of this is I can always crush my partner's leg down to this position like so. And if I can get to a crossface and an underhook, from here we have a variety of passes that we can do. The first one from here is I'm going to connect my right knee to my partner's hip. So that from here, I can step my left leg over my partner's knee, and from here, I just slide my left knee to my partner's hip. So the whole thing from here is to be able to get over my partner's knee. So from here, I'm going to come in, I'm going to walk my partner's bottom leg back to the center line. And as I walk it to the center line, that makes it easy now for me to step my top leg over my partner's top leg. Now, I just come in, I extend my left leg, and I drop my left knee to my partner's hip. So again, when she goes to bring her right elbow inside of my knee to knee elbow escape, she can. And now from here, we square our hips up, and we slide our knees into our partner's armpits, as mentioned previously. Okay? So from here, assuming we can get to an underhook, we're in a split squat. From here, if we can get to an underhook, again, we can use the same inside bicep ties that we did before to get to a top head and arm on our partner. Okay? From this position, we're going to come in. We're going to pull our partner's bottom leg back to the center line. If her bottom leg is up high, it means her top leg is going to be too high for me to access it with my left leg. So I pull my partner's leg back to the center line. And now from here, I can step over with my left leg and come over my partner's knee. Now the whole thing is to open up my right knee and get a strong connection of my left knee to the pocket of my partner's hip. Here. So that now when she goes to knee elbow escape, it's very difficult from here. We can come up and bring our elbows or our knees up inside of our partner's 2 elbows. Okay. Another great thing that we can do from here, my partner puts me in a butterfly half guard, I force her up into a split squat. And again, we cannot be driving our knee through a split squat when my partner has a butterfly hook in. You just can't do it. So from here, we come in, we get to a crossface and an underhook. From this position, we drive our right knee up, and now this looks a lot like the same position that we used in the beginning, where my partner had a low knee shield, and we crush our partner down like this. Okay? The only difference is my partner's leg is inside my leg instead of outside. Okay? So from this position, we're in here. Before, what we did was we pommeled under our partner's bottom leg. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drive our knee out, we're going to lean forward, and we're going to expose our partner's ankle. The only way to expose my partner's ankle is to lean my head forward. If I try to pommel from here, it'll be impossible. So I drive my knee out, I lean my head forward, and now my partner's ankle is exposed. So that from here we can come in, we pommel behind my partner's ankle, and now we raise my hips up over my partner's hips. So that from here we can drop our knee down just like before, and now walk back towards our partner's hips, and now we have a good pass, similar to the one that we did before. Okay, so we come in, she uses the butterfly half guard. From here we come up and we put ourselves in a split squat. Once again, you cannot drive through your partner's split squat when they have a butterfly hook. You will get your leg broken. You'll get leg locked. Okay, so we come in, we find ways to get to inside position like we looked at before, and from here, instead of pommeling behind our partner's bottom leg, we're going to pommel behind our partner's top leg. So we lean forward, and from here, our left leg exposes her ankle, and we come in. Now, as we close our left knee, our right knee comes up, so we're hip to hip, and then we just drive our right knee down to the floor. Then we can bring our right knee into the hip, drop our hips down, and circle back towards our partner's hips. So these are good ways to get past your partner's butterfly half guard from a split squat, assuming we have the cross face and underhook. Now we have to look at being able to go over the back when we feel like we can't get a cross face and underhook. And from here, coming in, when we can't get any upper body inside position and going behind our partner's guard. Okay, this is a great way from the cross face and the underhook. But now from here, another great option from her butterfly half guard is again coming up and using a split squat. Okay, from here we come up, we bring ourselves into a split squat like so. Now from here, even if my partner is framing on my chest like so, okay, the first one we can do by taking the leg across. Okay, this time if my partner's framing on my shoulders, this won't work. I won't be able to come over my partner's back. Okay, so from here we come in, and assuming we can get over our partner's head, we come through and we take our left hand over our partner's head, and we control my partner's crown of my head like so. Just like we talked about previously, we're controlling the longest end of the lever of her spine, so when she goes to move away from me here, it's very difficult. And we have to make sure, to be very careful, that our right foot doesn't come outside of my partner's leg, so that she has inside position now and she can start to invert and do all kinds of things. Okay? This position with my right foot is completely different from this position. Okay? So I need to make sure that my shoelaces stay inside of my partner's knee. Now, from here, we're going to come in, we're going to take our left foot, and we're going to go over our partner's leg and underneath the ankle. So that now, from here, we can take our hand in front of our partner's hips. We can lift our knee, okay, because I don't want to sprawl and have her lock her legs on me. So rather, I lift my knee up, and I just place it on the opposite side of her leg. And now from here, again, it's always turning my shoulder into my partner's hip. So when she goes to rotate into me, I can push her flat down and go into easy pins from here. Okay? So from here, we come in. She has a butterfly half guard, and I use her butterfly half guard to move into a split squat like so. Now, from here, we come up and over my partner's head, and we control my partner's head like so. Where now, from here, we come in, we take our foot up and over our partner's ankle, and now once we pommel on top of our partner's ankle, from here, we can come through, and we can start bringing our hand inside of our partner's hips. Okay? So the whole thing is to bring my right hand in front of my partner's hips, and now if I have to use my head for base, that's no problem. My head can come down for base. I pommel my left foot behind. I raise my right knee and just place it on the opposite side of my partner's leg. And now, as she goes to turn into me, we come in and we drop our right hip down like so. Okay? If I find my partner starts turning into me and grabbing single legs, okay, and she beats my shoulder from this position, and she beats my shoulder from this position, and she has a single, I just reach around my body and I catch my elbow on the side of her body. And now, as she goes to keep a single, we come through, lock your hands, okay. We come through, and we take our hand through this hole, and now we cup our partner's head, and we separate her hands. Now we have a cross face, we have the arm exposed, and we're now inside control on the opposite side of our partner's body. Okay, so we have an option now to come through. She has a butterfly half guard. I turn this into a split squat on my part. Now from here, assuming I can get over my partner's head, we come through, we reach over my partner's head, we pommel our hand through like so. Now we start taking our right knee out so we can pommel our left leg behind, and from here we just simply pick up our knee and drop it to the opposite side of our partner's leg. Where now he comes through, we want to take our shoulder to the hip like previously. But if my partner beats me and comes into a single leg, another great option we have from here is before she comes up, I take my left hand around the body and I give a big back step like so. Now my hand comes through this hole in between my leg and her head, and I take a crossface here. So now when she has to keep her hands locked, I just sprawl this leg back, and we have easy passes now into side control on the opposite side. So we've looked at ways to deal with a low knee shield with legs locked, a high knee shield with open legs, both of them with the combination of the cross shoulder post, and we've looked at ways to use under-over passing and some body lock passing, some brief teasers on body lock passing up until this point. Now we have to look to deal with butterfly half guard. Butterfly half guard is a very interesting position, okay, because not only does it keep your partner's legs safe, but it also gives them the incredible ability to off-balance you even once you flatten their upper body out. Okay, so we have to look at this position in a different way. So from here, first of all, if my partner's in a butterfly half guard, again, your partner can play with just a leg or a leg coupled with a cross shoulder post. So you have to look to deal with both. Just know your partner's legs are safe from this position, okay? In their, late 90s and early 2000s, the half guard with a knee shield was one of the most common guards, or half guards, because there was no leg locks. There was no danger of me spinning around the leg or sitting back in the leg and attacking people. But now you see half butterfly guard more and more becoming more and more common because now there's danger of leg locks. And because her 2 feet are inside my legs, she dominates the leg lock exchanges and her feet are safe. Okay? And it gives her more of an ability to off balance me from a position where I'm chest to chest. So first we're going to deal with our partner having butterfly hook, butterfly half guard, but no arms interfering. Okay. From here, the first thing, if all fails, we can always just post our partner's hip, lift the bottom leg, pommel our leg back to the inside, and then come back to the original split squat or half guard that we were in. Okay. So if you feel like you absolutely can't get past the butterfly hook, we can always do this. Just know your partner can always now, if I drop to a half guard, reinsert a butterfly hook, and now you have problems. Okay. So from here, the first thing I want is one, I never really want to be in a split squat per se when my partner has a butterfly guard. Okay, if at any point I try to go forward into my partner, I take that back. I don't never want to be here. You just have to be careful being here. You can't just knee slice into this position because your partner can just invert and enter into your legs. And that's no good. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do when my partner puts me in a butterfly half guard is we're going to step up and we're going to come into a split squat. Now the whole thing from here is I can't just drive forward. Because the more weight I put into her, the easier it is for her to just invert and give me all kinds of problems. Okay? So from here, we're going to turn her butterfly half guard into a split squat. Where now we're going to take our left hand, we're going to open up our left leg, and we're going to bring our partner's foot across our body. Now from here, we're going to take our left foot and we're going to pommel behind our partner's leg, and we're just going to make a switch where our left knee replaces our right knee. And we end up in a leg drag, like so. Where now again, you can either cup our partner's leg here, and our whole thing is to get our head over the far shoulder. So if we cup our partner's leg and we feel her peeling the hands off like we talked about before and inverting the knee to face me, that's no good. So if I see her hand addressing my grip on the knee and I feel like I can't keep this leg pinned down, if her hand's peeling my hand off, I reach down and I use a reverse V grip on my partner's ankle. So now she has no access to my hand. Now when she goes to bring her knee in, her knees can't face towards me. Now from here, when I go to bring my head towards the far shoulder, if she goes to post on my shoulders, I take hands inside the biceps and I just open my 2 elbows up. So that now from here, when she goes to turn towards me, that's very difficult because her shoulders are pinned, her knees are facing the opposite direction, and now we can put an underhook, a crossface, and move into all of our top pins. Okay, this these shoulder posts, or this double inside bicep ties, make a big difference. If she straight posts both my shoulders, we come in, and we just peel everything off. If she cross posts my shoulder from here, we come in, and we just open the elbow up and out. So when she goes to keep a strong post, I just open, and I turn my head over the far shoulder, and now we're in like so. Okay? So if she can keep my head away from the far shoulder, she can always eventually invert the knee and bring her knee back in. Okay? So my whole thing is to initially bring my head as far over the far shoulder as we can, and now if she straight posts my shoulders, we just come in, we open, 2 elbows up. So now my head's over her shoulder. If she cross posts my shoulder, like we talked about previously, from here we just come in, we take an inside bicep tie, and now as we drive forward, we open the right elbow. When she goes to make a strong post, we can always open this elbow up, and now we're inside of our partner's arms. From here, the crossface and the underhook come in as always, and now we have nice top pins. Okay, so that's a great way from her butterfly half guard to move from here. We come into a split squat where we take our knee up. Now we don't ever drive forward. You can't just drive forward into here. If you just drive forward into a split squat, when she has a butterfly hook, you're just going to put yourself in a leg locking position. It's no good. Okay, so from here, the first thing we do is we take a grip on my partner's heel, and from here we open up the leg and we bring our partner's leg to our far hip. Now from here, when she goes to move around, it's a pretty controlling position. Okay, you can't stay here forever, but you're in a pretty good spot. Okay, now from here, we make sure that we pommel our left foot behind our partner's ankle, so that from here our left knee replaces the right, and we drop into this good leg drag position here. Now we cup the knee. If she addresses the hand on the knee, we go to a reverse V grip. We take the head over the far shoulder. If at any point she goes to bring her hands inside, we keep a heavy chest so her knee can't invert towards me initially. Okay, if I stay here forever, she can always push me away, and then you come back inside. But from here, as she goes to push me away and bring the knee in, we quickly come in and we take inside position with the hands. If she has a cross shoulder post, we come in, and instead of just batting the hand off the shoulder, we open up the elbow to bring her elbow outside my shoulder, and now we drop into position, and from there we're ready to go in and pass our partner's guard. Now, we've looked at when my partner uses a half butterfly guard, how we can force them into a split squat and use a split squat effectively. Okay, most people go into a split squat and they don't understand the difference between a split squat with the leg on the inside with the butterfly hook versus the leg on the outside. If you dive straight into a split squat with the leg on the inside, you just end up in cross hashigurami, and then you're getting your leg broken before you know it. Okay, so we looked at how to use a split squat effectively against a butterfly half guard, where we physically take our knee off the floor, force our partner into a split squat, and then do passes either over the head, or if you can't get our hand over our partner's head, then from there we pull the leg across and we go to the opposite side into leg drags. Okay, so now from here we're going to come in. My partner's going to be down. She's going to be in a butterfly half guard, and I'm going to remain on 2 knees. Again, we're dealing with just the leg or the leg and the arm. If I'm dealing with just the leg, we can easily get past the legs from here. Okay, from here we're going to come in, and as soon as my partner starts playing a butterfly half guard, we're just going to come over and we're just going to catch onto our partner like so. Okay, now from here, assuming we can get upper body inside position, so assuming we can get to a cross face and an underhook. Again, we have to do multiple things from if we can get upper body inside position or if we can't get upper body inside position. So just like we talked about before, the methods of fighting to inside position remain the same. Okay, where we come inside of our partner's bicep, we use an inside bicep tie or a reverse cross face to bring our elbow inside. Okay, so those remain the same. So if I can get to an underhook and a cross face like so. Now, the whole thing from here is my partner is able to elevate me over her right shoulder if I keep my hips squared from here. Okay, it looks like I'm winning from a third-person point of view, but because she has a butterfly hook in, she has an incredible ability to off-balance me from here. So all she has to do is bring her 2 knees over her left shoulder, and I'm immediately off balance, and she can bring her legs into place. Okay, so for me, the whole thing I need to do is to insert my butterfly hook. So from here, as soon as I get into this position, I'm immediately going to blade my knee into my partner's hip. So my left knee connects to my partner's bottom hip, and I'm going to close my right knee to bring her heel into her butt. Now when she goes to elevate me over the left shoulder, this makes it incredibly difficult. And And what it also does is it brings her right knee closer to the floor, which makes it easier for my left leg to insert the butterfly hook. So now, as she goes to bring me over the left shoulder, it's difficult. When I go to insert my butterfly hook, it's easy. Now, from here, this is where we start to get interesting with the passing. Where we start to bring leg pommeling into the passing. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is if my partner has a relatively loose hook. We have sticky hooks and we have loose hooks. If my partner has a loose butterfly hook, we can easily just hit a quick hip switch past my partner's leg. So from here, I just raise my hips and I just quickly drop my right hip past my partner's legs. Now when she goes to bring her right knee into her elbow, because my hips are already turned, we can easily walk back towards our partner's knees. And now we have a nice pin and top side. Okay? So this is assuming that my partner's playing at a pretty basic level and we can get over our partner's leg, and we can get to a position where we have a butterfly hook in. Okay, and again, it's not a basic level. It's if you use transitions well together, you often find yourselves in these positions on high-level guys. Okay, but obviously you're not going to start in this position and have a high-level black belt just be like, oh, just come in chest to chest. Okay, when you chain things together, you end up in these positions a lot. Okay, so from here, if I can get past the top leg and the top arm, assuming the top arm is not involved right now, we come in and we lock our hands in place. We make our way to the upper body through using inside bicep ties and reverse cross faces, and we pommel our left leg in. If my hips are square, she can off balance me. So I turn my left knee in and I turn my hips slightly. So that now from here, when I take my right knee down towards my partner's butt, it makes it hard for her to move me around now. Now I'm going to take my butterfly hook and insert over my partner's knee. Assuming now she has a loose left hook, I'm just going to raise my hips and turn my right hip down and switch past my partner's hips. So that now from here I can walk back towards my partner's legs as always, and we're in for a nice top pin. Okay. Now let's say my partner is more experienced and has a sticky top hook. Okay. So this time from here we come in. We get to upper body position, and I feel like if I try to hip switch past my partner, she's going to follow me, and I'm not going to be able to switch past my partner's legs. Okay. From here, what I don't want happening is as I go to switch, she uses her left leg to extend me out further than I want it to go, and now from here she can start bringing her hand inside of my jaw, and now making space. Okay. If I do find myself in a position where I can land here and get to my partner's upper body, now I can pass pretty easily, okay? But it's unlikely that happens from this position if my partner's good. So from here, we come in, and now my partner has a sticky hook. So the first thing I'm going to look to do is I'm going to look to come forward, so I have high elbows again, so I have my a good base on my partner, and I'm bring my head to the floor. Now, this concept of guard passing is the complete opposite of what people tell you to do. Okay? Everyone tells you to have heavy hips and pommel with your hands. What I'm telling you to do is lean most of the weight onto your upper body and pommel with your legs instead. Okay? So this is definitely something new for a lot of you people and interesting conceptually because it's the opposite of what everyone tells you to do. Okay? But it's very effective, and you'll see in these next few demonstrations where we're going to go with this. So from here we come in. I have high elbows again, so my head now comes down towards the floor. From here, as I go to take my my hips high, it gives me the incredible ability now to pommel my right leg. Again, I need to make sure that my left knee on the opposite side stays inside of my partner's elbow. So if she can knee elbow escape, now she's back into a full butterfly guard, and this is no good for me. Okay, so I always need to make sure that my left knee stays connected to my partner's hip, and we can have a good base with our elbows out like so. Now, from here, you put your partner in a dilemma, and you'll see what that dilemma is in a second. The first move we're going to do is we're going to come forward, and we're going to pommel our shin on top of our partner's shin like so. Now, the whole thing for me is to push my partner's knee past the line of my hips. I do that by raising my hips, extending my right leg, and now I'm past my partner's leg. Now from here I have upper body position, and all the passes that we did before remain the same. We're in a 3/4 mount. So from here, we insert our right leg butterfly hook, and we can pommel the side control, we can pommel to mount. All the principles from before, once you get to that position, remain the same. It's just the setup is different. Okay. So now from here, she's in a butterfly half guard. From here, we come in and we pommel let our own butterfly hook in, like so. Okay. So now this butterfly hook makes it difficult for her to elevate me from these positions. Okay. Whether we pommel it in before or whether we pommel it in after, it doesn't really make a difference. With more advanced people, it'll be harder for you to maintain a butterfly hook right from the beginning. Okay, the problem is when I come in and I put a butterfly hook in like so, she can always start to bring her head towards me and use her elbows to clear my butterfly hook. Okay, it's more likely that you're able to put a butterfly hook in for long amounts of time with a butterfly half guard. With a knee shield half guard, it's incredibly easy for her to use her leg to push me away, and now that gives me problems. Okay. With a butterfly half guard, it's okay to bring a butterfly half guard in, because now if she tries to push me away, we can start to crush her knee down to this side. Okay, and we'll look at some of those in a second. Okay. But whether we insert before or after, we're going to have to insert a butterfly hook at some point. Okay. For this particular one, we come in, she has a butterfly hook in. I look to insert my butterfly hook after we get to the upper body. So we come in, we get past our partner's top leg, we get to our partner's upper body, and now we're in a position where we're ready to go and pass. From here, we immediately take our left knee and connect it to our partner's hip and close our right leg down. So when she goes to elevate me from this position, it's difficult. If my hips are square, the elevation's easy, and I start to get off balance from here. So from here, I turn my left hip down, and that makes it easy now for me to insert my own butterfly hook. From here, I bring my elbows up nice and high, I lean down towards my head, and from here we do an initial top pommel over my partner's leg. Now I have to raise my hips so her knee can go beyond the line of my hips, and I sit back down towards my partner's leg. And now from here, when she goes to trap onto my ankle, we have a variety of passes we can do from here. Now we can go into three-quarter, or we can go into butterfly hooks. We can come in, we can take our head across our partner's body and use the two knees in like we did previously, where now we can free up our leg by coming through, extracting, using 2 feet, passing like this, and all the things we did before, we look to chain these all together now. Okay? So that's the first one. Now, this is the dilemma you're putting your partner in from this position. Let's say from here, you get to upper body position on your partner, you put a butterfly hook in, and now you go to raise your knee and pommel your shin on top of your partner's shin. But what if your partner from here raises their leg with you? So now she has a sticky butterfly hook. So now whenever I go to raise my leg, I just can't do it from this position. Now from here, she sacrifices her knee position relative to her chest. So you notice, if her knee is close to her chest, I can never bring my foot in front of her leg. But the second she extends her leg, now the knee comes away from the chest. So from here, it's very easy now for me to go in front of my partner's leg. The only way I can do this is if my head's in the floor. So again, I have to have a heavy upper body with a light lower body. So now, when she goes to raise her foot, so I can't pommel on top, we just extend our hips up, and we pommel in front of our partner's leg. And now from here, we push the leg down. Now, as she goes to trap my ankle, we can either come out to mount and slide our knees up like you talked about before. If she traps my ankle, we go into any of the passes that we just did. Or, as soon as we pass, okay, we pommel a foot around. And from here, when she goes to trap my ankle, I just pommel to knee on belly, and now I'm safe. And now from here, we can look to come across and go into mount on our partner. Okay? So we play a dilemma between a sticky hook and a short knee. Okay? Where from here, if my partner's down, we get past this top leg. We can get around the head and the arm. And from here, we're able to insert a butterfly hook. If my partner has a short knee, we can always come up and pommel our legs on top. If we try to pommel our leg on top and our partner has a sticky hook, we can always pommel in front. And now from here, when she goes to trap my legs, we can always use leg pommeling in a variety of different ways. One of my favorites is from here. My leg comes in, and now as she goes to trap my leg, we pommel into knee on belly on this side, and now we're in. And now because we have a left knee inside of my partner's arm, we have an arm isolated on this side where we can look to extract and go in for our submissions here, or we can just simply drive across into mount on the opposite side, and now we have two arms isolated over our partner's head. Okay? So you see how a lot of these passing positions put you in positions where your partner's limbs are already isolated and ready to go right into attacking positions from there. Okay? So now, from here, another great option that we have, okay, from this position where we can get to upper body position on our partner. And she has a butterfly half guard in place. From here, if I can get a butterfly hook in. Now, let's say for whatever reason, we're having a hard time top pommeling and front pommeling on our partner. So let's say from here, I put her in a dilemma of a short knee and a sticky hook. But she does such a good job of raising her leg with me, and then when I go to front pommel, she brings her knee back into her chest. Now when I go to top pommel, she extends the leg. So I feel like I just can't get past my partner's leg from here. A great option that I have from this position is to come in and lean my head to the floor with nice wide elbows, and now from here, take my knee up to my partner's knee. So that now from here, we can drive across our partner's body and take our partner's knee down to one side. Now we have a good option of one, taking our foot off and then circling back towards our partner's legs. Two, we have an option of letting my partner open the legs back up aggressively and just coming across the mount like we did before. Okay, so we can either pass across the opposite side in side control, or we can pass across into mount, and as our partner opens up the knees, we can just follow back across. Okay, so we put our partner in this dilemma where she has a butterfly hook, and from here, I try to go on top, she follows. I try to go in front and over, she follows. It's like I can never get my partner beat from this position. So from here, we come forward, we go knee to knee, so that my knee is relatively close to my partner's knee. And now from here, we just slide across. As my butterfly hook comes out now, okay? Now I have a base of the left leg. So when she goes to take her knees open, we can either just let her go and open the knees, or we can let her pull me across into a mounted position, where now my knees are inside of her elbows again, and now we're ready to go into attacks from here. So now we're going to look at another option from here, when we feel like we can get past our partner's top leg, which is a half butterfly hook, but from here I feel like I can't fight my way to upper body inside position. So just like we talked about before, when my partner had locked legs, and I felt like I couldn't fight my way inside my partner's arms, we had to switch our hips. We're going to do the same thing from here, but it's different because my partner has a butterfly hook this time. Okay, so from here I feel like I'm trying to go underneath my partner's arm. I can't get underneath my partner's arm. I'm trying to go into a crossface. I can't go into a crossface. Okay, I try to go the reverse crossface. I can't go the reverse crossface. From here, I'm going to use a reverse underhook to go over, or to go underneath my partner's arm and sit through to my left hip. Now again, from here, I have to make sure that my partner isn't able to elevate me from this position. In this particular position, I need to have my left knee connected to my partner's bottom hip. I need to close my right knee down towards my own, towards my partner's butt, so that her heel is closest to her butt. The further she extends her heel away, the more off balance she can bring me. I have to immediately bring my knee down to close her knee to her butt. So when she goes to move me around from here, it's difficult from this position. Now, from here, there's two ways we can pass from here. One is to use a scoop grip on our partner's leg. If she has a sticky hook, or if she has a loose hook, I'll just backstep and I'll get by. Okay? The problem is, with anyone good, they're going to extend their leg with you, and you're going to start getting off balance. You're trying to step your leg back. So one of the great alternatives that we can do from here is we use a reverse V-grip on our partner's ankle. So now we're at the long end of the lever. Now when she goes to follow me, she can't extend the leg with me. And now once we use the reverse V grip, we switch back to a scoop grip, and then we're in the same passing position that we've been in this entire series. Okay, a scoop grip with a shin across your partner's hips. Okay, so this time we come in with a butterfly half guard. This time we come in past the top leg, but we can't get upper body position. Now, whether we sit through to a reverse underhook or over my partner's arm, everything remains the same. If we sit through to a reverse underhook, we just use a V grip. If we sit through to over your partner's arm, now we go to the Kimura, we lock up, and now we use the same either scoop grip with someone naive to pass loose hooks, or if she's a sticky hook where I feel like I can't extend past the leg, we just reverse V grip, and now from here when she goes to follow me, we're past the leg. Now we immediately switch to a scoop grip, and now, once again, I know this is getting redundant, but we're in the same exact passing position that we were in. We have a scoop grip, we have a Kimura, we can finish from here, we can do all kinds of things. Okay, so now this time, it's from a position where we come in and we sit through and we do all of our passing now from a turned hip, where the passing is almost the same, but instead we just come up and we back step through. Okay. So now we're going to look at what happens if we're in a butterfly half guard and your opponent uses an underhook. Okay. When we're in a butterfly half guard, your opponent can use a butterfly hook and an underhook at the same time. Okay. She can sit up to her elbow and she can use an underhook at the same time, because the butterfly hook is not necessarily for keeping distance between our two chests. When she uses a knee shield, it's specifically made to manage the distance between my chest and hers. Okay, when she has a butterfly half guard, that's not always necessarily the case. Okay, she can threaten an underhook from here, and now from here when I go to move my head away to stop the underhook, she can start shooting underneath me and going in for ashigaramis. Okay, so she can always play an underhook coupled with a butterfly half guard. It's okay to do. Whenever I see this from here, we're going to come in and we use our same near side underhook, where we take our hand to our partner's scapula and we pull our partner flat to the floor. Now, I have to make sure my hips do not stay square here. If they do, she can always elevate me over the far shoulder and I can start to get put in bad spots. So from here, I'm immediately going to pull her down to her back and I'm going to switch my hips into this good position. Where now from here, because I don't have my back turned to my partner, my knee no longer has to be in the pocket of my partner's hip. The reason it had to be into the pocket of my partner's hip when I have my back completely turned towards my partner is because if her knee comes out at any point, there's back exposure on her part. Okay? But now, because I don't have my back turned to my partner, the leg position is different. Now my knee is all the way through and my thigh is connected to my partner's butt. So that now from here, my head's over the far shoulder and my knees are pinched together. When she goes to elevate me now with the butterfly hook, it's incredibly difficult. Now the whole thing from here is to bring my elbow inside of my partner's knee and my hand inside of the hip. And now when she goes to elevate me, I just walk across my partner's body and step over my partner's leg. And now from here, I use an overhook on my partner's hand, assuming she has an underhook. If I can get an underhook, even better. Okay, but I always make sure that I keep my knee inside my partner's elbow, so when we pass, she can't go into a knee elbow escape. Okay, so we come in. She has a butterfly hook, and she sits up into an underhook like so. Now from here, we initially have to bring her head over the elbow so she can't use the butterfly hook effectively. So we start off with a near side underhook, and we pull our partner's back down to the floor. Now, as soon as the back hits the floor, we immediately switch our hips into this position here, so we don't get elevated over the left shoulder. Now, what stops me from getting elevated over to this side is the pinch of my right knee and the pulling of my left knee into my chest. So I'm almost scissoring my legs from here. Now, when she goes to move her butterfly hook, it's very difficult from this position. Now, I take my elbow and hand to the inside position, and from here, I just start walking across my partner's body until I get to the point where now I can push my partner's knee down enough to step my leg over. If you have trouble with dexterity, just use your hand to push the knee down, and then from here, your leg steps up and over. Now we make sure that our knee comes inside of our partner's elbow before we land, and now we have a nice pass off of our partner's underhook from butterfly half. Another way to deal with my partner's underhook, instead of taking a near side underhook, is from here, as she comes up with the butterfly half, we come in, and from here, we lock onto an arm and guillotine. Right? So the whole thing is we initially put a guillotine in place. Now, from here, if my partner aggressively throws her back to the floor, now we come in and we sit and we're past our partner's top leg. Okay? So when our partner defends a submission, whether it's from a butterfly half guard or she sets up to an underhook like we did before, where she has a knee shield and she relinquishes the knee shield. If we go into a guillotine and she throws her back to the floor, now we're past our partner's top leg. Now we can use our reverse crossface and methods of getting into the upper body. So when she reacts to defend the submission, whether from a regular half guard or butterfly half guard, by throwing her back to the floor, we just release the guillotine and just drop past the top leg. Now we're past our partner's top knee. We can easily go into passes from here. So whether from a butterfly or a regular half guard, whenever your partner defends a submission, okay, or even going for dark strangles, whenever your partner throws their back to the floor, we just cover over our partner's top leg. And now we just do our normal passes from here. Okay? Now, if your partner chooses to stay with the butterfly hook and the underhook, from here we come in and we put our arm and guillotine in like so. Now, from here, we're going to pommel our left leg to a butterfly hook as well. So we have an even inside position at the lower body. Now, we're going to fall down to our hip, and again, we're going to extend our partner out with our left leg. This makes it easy now to insert our right leg as a butterfly hook. And now everything remains the same from here. When she goes to move around and jump to the opposite side, we can easily set our partner down to the floor. And now from here, we can come up, scissor the legs, post the head, step over with a mounted guillotine, and then do either passing or submissions from there. Okay? So just very similar to before. This time, our partner has a butterfly half guard. So she sits up, and we start attacking an arm and guillotine. Now from here, I insert my own butterfly hook. If I don't insert my butterfly hook, and she comes on top, now she can just pommel across my body, and she ends up in a top half guard on the opposite side. So it's crucial that from a butterfly half guard, my butterfly hook comes inside. If it's a regular position where I just have a half guard, it's not as important because as I fall, I can insert my right knee. Now my right foot's in the inside position. So now I can make space for my left leg to come in, and it's not that big of a deal. But from here, when she is a butterfly half guard, her left foot now is inside of my leg. So I have no ability to bring my knee inside as I fall. So I have to instead bring my left foot inside. So now as I fall down to my hip, my left foot allows me to make space for my right foot to pommel inside. And now the extension of my left leg and the closing of my right knee against the hip prevents her from putting me square on my back. And now all it's left to do is lift with the right leg, crunch the left elbow to the hip, and lift with our left drive leg. And take our partner over. And now from here, it's just scissoring the legs, posting the head, and walking up over into a tight mounted guillotine for the win, or just use it to go into a mounted position. So now, we've covered getting past our partner's leg when we can get to upper body position. Okay. Now, my partner's going to have a butterfly hook inside like so, and from here we're going to be on two knees. So now we try to drive forward, but the knee is connected to the elbow, she's framing on my cross shoulder, and from here I feel like I can't get through past my partner's guard. Okay. Again, I can crush the knee back this way, but when I go to actually cover, I can't get any upper body position, and she can always bring the knee back inside. Okay. When I go to crush the knee this way, I can cover, but when I go to cover, she can bring the knee back inside. Okay? So from here, initially, we're going to lace the hands through the legs, like so. So that now we can bring our shoulder onto our partner's leg. Now she can still post my far shoulder, it's fine. All I need is to crush my partner's leg initially with this lace, where I can step my left leg up. Now as she goes to bring the knee back up, she can bring the knee back up, that's fine. But I can always pull the foot to the outside of my hip. And now from here, we do the same pommel, where we pommel behind our partner's knee, and our left leg in. Now we end up in this same leg drag position. So instead of doing it from a split squat this time, we're in a safer position. Okay, we can do it from 2 knees, where there's not really hardly any danger of her entering into your legs. So I feel like I can't get past my partner's top leg and top arm. We come in and we start crushing our partner's leg down like so. Now from here, we can even grab with a scoop if we want. From here, I use the opening of the left leg to bring her leg outside my hip. So that now I can easily take my left foot and pommel it behind my partner's ankle. And now we just come in, we replace our foot with our knee, and we drive into this leg drag position. Where again, the whole thing is getting our head over our partner's far shoulder. So as she goes to post on my shoulders, we just come in, we drive forward, and we open up my partner's arms to get into a good passing position. Okay, so the whole thing from here, I can't get past the arms and the legs. We crush the leg down. I step back, I open the leg up, and now we're in. Now I lean forward, my ankle comes in, my knee inserts. Now if she's posting cross shoulder, we come in, we lean forward, and we open our elbow up so the head can come over the far shoulder. If she's posting double shoulders, we just punch the hands outside the line of the shoulders, and now we're in with our leg drag pass behind our partner's guard this time. This is from 2 knees, so it's similar to the split squat pass, but you're not in nearly as much danger of getting your legs attacked. Okay, so we're going to look at more half butterfly guard passes. Okay, and as we've been talking about this entire series, when my partner is down, it's all about how can I get past the top leg and the top arm. Okay, so now let's say that we've done all these things and we feel like we have better things that we can do from here, or we're not having success with the things we've been doing. Okay, from this position, my partner has a cross shoulder post and she's in, and I feel like I can't get anything working. I'm going to pommel my own butterfly hook in. Okay, so my bottom leg is going to pommel above her knee like so. And now from here, we're going to start pushing our partner up to a position where I elevate my left knee off the floor and I connect my hand, my elbow rather, to my own knee. So now when she goes to bring her knee back inside, it's difficult. Okay, we can also do this as a cue where we bring a knee inside. And anytime my partner goes to bring her elbow inside and she beats me with the elbow position, when she goes to knee elbow escape, I can step up to this position. Okay, now I can't get any, it's difficult now for me to get inside position. Okay, if from here I feel like I can't get to my partner's upper body, we're going to start beating here with pommeling of the legs. So my right hand posts above my partner's shoulder line. The shoulder line just being the line that draws your partner's 2 shoulders together. My right hand posts above that line. My left hand goes back and forth between posting above the shoulder and posting below the shoulder. I post above the shoulder initially, and I play in this position. If at any point my partner goes to bring her leg back inside so her foot comes in, now she has 2 feet inside, now she can enter into Ashigarami. So if at any point I feel her foot coming back inside, I move below the shoulder line, and I block her foot from coming inside with a left knee to elbow connection. Okay. Now, from here, there's 2 positions your partner can play their top knee in. They can play at the inside hip, or they can play at the outside hip. And this makes a very big difference on what I'm going to do to actually pass my partner. Okay. First, we'll deal with your partner playing on the inside hip. The first thing I'm going to look to do is I'm going to start to bridge, or I'm going to start to lean towards my partner's far shoulder. So that when she goes to extend towards me, this makes it easy now to hip switch past my partner's legs. So I start leaning towards my partner. When she goes to extend, I hip switch past, and now my hip connects to my partner's hip. Now I just bring my knee behind my partner's knees, and her knees point in the opposite direction of the escape. Now from here, a variety of things can happen. If we can get to inside position, we can get an underhook and a crossface. But a lot of times what happens is my partner starts to push away from me, and now we start to make, we get into positions where we aren't fully past our partner from here. Okay. If from here I hip switch past my partner and she goes to bring her knees towards me, Okay. From this position, we're going to bring our hand inside of our partner's hip, and we're going to pop up. Now, we'll take our hand to our partner's knee, and now when she goes to bring her knee in, I just bump the knee by, and I connect my left knee and my left elbow. So now, we have a variety of passes we can do from here, where we come down with our right hand, we bring our head to the hip, and we beat our partner's knees. We can take our right shin across my partner's hip, and switch to a scoop grip, and then go into all the passes that we do from here. If my partner does bring the knees back inside, we can start to go into loose passes where we throw our partner's legs to the side and go into Torigandos, which we'll cover more later. There's a variety of things we can do. We can't actually get chest to chest. Okay? So from here we come in. My partner plans to have half butterfly, and she has a cross shoulder post. So from here I'm going to bring my butterfly hook inside by just leaning my head over her head and inserting my butterfly hook. Now I take my left knee off the ground, my right foot steps up, and we end up in this position here, where my right hand is always above my partner's head and shoulders. My left hand plays between above and below, depending on what my partner's doing with his bottom foot. Okay? And keep in mind, this style of passing is the exact opposite of what most people tell you to do. Nobody else in the world is doing this. This is unique to me. Okay? This is the thing that I've been doing that nobody else is doing. It's the exact opposite of what everyone teaches you. Everyone tells you stay heavy with the hips and pommel with the hands. I'm teaching you to stay heavy with the hands and pommel with the feet, knees, and hips. Okay? So everyone says stay heavy here and fight the battle up here. I'm telling you stay heavy here and fight the battle down here. Okay? So it's very awkward at first, but once you get used to it, you'll see it's extremely effective. Okay? So we come in, we play from this position. Now my partner's playing with her knee on my bottom hip. So we start initially by driving into my partner. If I feel a pushback when her leg extends, the whole thing is for me to switch my hip to get my knee outside of her foot. So right now she is inside foot position. Okay? So my whole thing is to switch my hip, and as she extends, there's a certain point where I turn my knee down, and now we're in. Now if we can get to upper body inside position, great. If we can, she goes to bring the knees in, I post inside the hip, and I immediately bring my knee to my elbow. So now from here, we can go into a variety of passes that we'll cover more with Torigandos. Okay? Now, this time we come in, we move into a butterfly half guard, and we take our hands off the floor, or our knees off the floor. Now from here, our partner's playing with the leg on the bottom hip. This time, if I push into my partner and I don't feel a reaction, where I push to the far shoulder and she doesn't push back into me, if I try to hip switch from here, as I go to hip switch, because she's not extending into me, she can open up her knee. And now it puts me in a position where her legs can come back inside. Okay? So, from here, if I push into her and she extends into me, the knee's so far away from the chest that we can easily hip switch past. But if I push into her and there's no reaction, now I can't do a hip switch pass from here, unless you're going with someone who's not very good. It's much better to instead lean forward to expose your partner's ankle. So from here, if she extends back into me, the ankle's not exposed because the hook is sticky. If she doesn't push into me, it's always easy to bring our legs forward slightly and expose the ankle. So that now I can pommel my right leg on top. Once my right leg pommels on top, now when she goes to extend or move me around, we just lift and we bring our left knee outside. And now we have easy passes from here. Where again, it's a fight to get chest to chest. You're past the legs, but you're not chest to chest. You have to distinguish the difference between getting past your partner's legs and actually getting chest to chest to a top pin. They're two different things. Okay? Getting past the legs first, then getting to a pin. Or pinning your partner's head and shoulders down first by getting chest to chest, and then beating the legs second. Okay? So we come in this time. My partner is playing from this position. I insert a butterfly hook, and we come up. Now I push back into my partner, and we feel like there's no pushback. If there is a pushback, it's a sticky hook, and I can't expose the ankle. If she doesn't push back into me, we ride our left knee up slightly, so that from here we can take our shin up to our partner's shin. And now, as we go, we just take our knee outside. Okay, so we can raise our hips. Okay, so from here we can place in one of two ways. We can raise our hips, and we can blade our right knee into our partner's hip. So now my knee is inside of her hip, and we can step through. We can pommel to a 2-on-1, where now from here we come up and we extend our partner's leg by, and now we're in a mount or a 3/4 mount. There's a bunch of different things that we can do from here. Okay, the most reliable ones are we pommel in shin to shin. Now we turn our right knee in. So that now as our shin controls our partner's butterfly hook, when she goes to extend into me, we back step and we use a scoop grip method to pass our partner from here. We're going to the same passes that we looked at previously. Another great method is to use a 2-on-1 on our partner's legs, where now we have the option of either bringing our left knee outside of our partner's knee, like so, and passing, where we have our partner's two legs pinned together, where if she goes to aggressively open them, we're in mount, that we looked at before. Or we can come in, we can pass the knee on belly on this side, we can pass behind our partner, and all the things that you've seen previously, okay, when our two partners' legs are pinned together. Or we can just extend our two legs and bring our partner's leg below the line of our hips. So now when she goes to trap my leg, I can either pommel this leg out, or if she traps the ankle, we sit back and we pass from here. Okay, so those are some great options when your partner has the knee on the bottom hip from that position from a butterfly half guard.